Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Daniela and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and dabbling into Mercari. If it's your first time, thank you so much. This is the Chronicles of a Reseller. So basically what we do here is we talk about reselling, talk about life, talk about entrepreneurship, talk about things that are happening in the world, in the reselling community, and all different things. I share my experiences. They are my own experiences. They are what I have gone through. It is not set in stone. It's not things that you should 100% follow. Nothing like that. I'm just sharing my journey with all of you. So if you like that kind of content, consider subscribing. We upload here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I should clarify that. So today's video is a little bit of a roller coaster. I'm filming this on Saturday. What's today's date? I don't even know what today's date is. It is July 25th. So I started recording this video on July 23rd and 24th. Well, I was in the car because I had these ideas swirling around in my head, and I was like, you know what, I gotta record this while all these ideas are going on, and then I'll film the rest of this another day. So, the first part of this video is me sitting in the car, so I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. It's a little bumpy. We're driving around, and it can get a little bumpy at times, so if you have motion sickness, I'm so sorry. It wasn't intentional. But the juices were flowing and I needed to get that information out. So the content. We're going to talk about automation, which I know is a hot topic right now in the reselling community. I'm not going to be giving my opinion one way or the other. These are just facts that I know from working in different industries. These are things that I've experienced that maybe confuse me a little bit when it comes to Poshmark and other reselling platforms. However, I want to talk about it. And then the second topic that I touch upon is also cancel culture, because I feel like it's everywhere. It's all over YouTube. It's all over social media. And I kind of share my experience with cancel culture and my thoughts on that. So let's get into that portion of the video. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do a reseller Q&A. Okay, so I'm driving, so I'm not going to be looking at the camera the whole time. However, I'm heading to the post office. I'm going to a couple of thrift stores. Who knows where else I'll go. However, I did want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the reselling community. I am not one for controversy. I am not one to call people out. That's just not me. However, also I apologize if it's really bumpy. This road that I'm on is not in the best of shape. So back to the reselling stuff. There has been some talk about people using bots, sharing services, VAs, this whole topic. I'm not necessarily going to speak about bot services or extensions or anything like that. The only thing I want to touch upon, and it's something that actually Kristen from Voyages of Herb talked about, I love, and I had a conversation with her about this last night as well. In most companies, in most businesses, in most establishments, automation is something that everyone strives for. The number one thing that you're doing in any business, in any entrepreneurship, even in my job, working for the state, is trying to find ways to automate a process so that you as the employee can focus on other aspects of the job that need to be done, that are more critical or more important to yield a certain result. Now, reselling is basically the same thing. Poshmark has made it so that automation is frowned upon, which is interesting because they allow extensions like List Perfectly and Vendu to be a part of their programming. I mean, their extensions work on the platforms, so I find that to be interesting. Hold on, thought I have to guess. And back. So, as I was saying, List Perfectly then are an automation tool, which is great. You are not manually cross-listing to each platform. It's amazing, right? I have List Perfectly. I'm sure a bunch of you have been to a List Perfectly. It's helpful. It makes it easier to run your business. So there's that. I understand that Poshmark's motto, that their whole concept of their application is to be social. And this is my number one gripe with Poshmark, and I've said before, and I mean, I have no shame in voicing my opinion, is that they need to decide if they are a social platform or if they are a reselling platform. So you can't be Instagram and be a selling platform at the same time. I mean, you can be, but you're not gearing content, you're not doing things within your application to gear it towards the people making you the most money, which would be the full-time resellers in general, but the full-time resellers bring in the majority of the cash flow for them, right? So if you are Poshmark, you need to make the decision as to what's more important for your business. Is it the social sharing aspect, having the stories, all this kind of stuff, the engagements that you need to do, you need to follow, all of these things, or is it the actual reselling itself? Now, that's a business decision that they are in the process of changing or are keeping as is, or whatever. Like, they listen to feedback. Obviously, I have to say, like, Poshmark is very receptive to what people are saying as platforms. They listen to what the community is saying, and they try to implement new strategies or new mottos, right? So this is not a dig to the company or to the CEOs and developers and stuff. It is not at all a dig to them. It's just a little confusing because I'm sure their own business, they have automations that they've created, whether it's a generic email that goes out, because that's an automation as well. When you submit an email to them, you get an immediate response, and it's just a generic template that goes to everyone, and that they may, at some point in time, which would be lovely, decide to have a bot type service within their website that can answer customer service questions. That would be ideal automation for them to have, since they don't have a direct line for you to contact someone. I mean, automation itself it's not a bad thing. It's meant to increase productivity. So, with that being said, Poshmark does have a term within their seller agreements that states that you can't use a bot for sharing. Now, I'm not giving you the legal terminology or anything, but basically you can't have bots in your closet. I get it. I understand. However, if someone could have a service of some sort that is legitimate, that can automatically share your content for a low price or for free, and you can focus your energies on other aspects of the business, like sourcing, like listing, photographing, inventorying, whatever it is that you need to do within your business. If you can allocate more time to that instead of sharing your items, think about the positive outcome that would have on your business. In most businesses, I will speak upon my own experiences when I worked in a marketing firm, and now within the job and role that I'm in with the state. When I worked in the marketing firm, every single thing that we pushed out was automated. If someone did our mailing list, there was an automated generated emails that go out to each individual that signed up, and they were tiered. So you could set rules, right? So the first one would be as soon as they signed up, they got a welcome email. Then 2 weeks later or a week later, they'd get another email with some other type of call to action. Then a month later, they get another email. But if they clicked on something or if they ventured in different areas of our application, then they would get funneled into automation of emails or automation within our own systems where we would call people or we would engage with them in different ways because we were trying to get them to buy, right? It streamlined everything. It made our jobs a lot easier to have functions already in place so that we could focus on creating the content and creating better packages for the customers, giving our customers our full attention that needed, help with different aspects of marketing, creating images for companies. I mean, so many different things that we could focus our energies on instead of manually having to go in and click on each person that signed up and create an email and then follow up ourselves. Like, it was all done for us. That's huge. Like, most marketing companies work this way, right? Same with where I work now. Almost everything that I do, I've already created a it's or it's something that I can easily generate, whether it's business orders, whether it's different types of forms or memos that have to go out. Everything is templatized, and all I do is input information, and I have automation that goes out accordingly. Automation's a good thing. I don't know why it's just happening within Poshmark. It's something that I think would be beneficial if it was talked about more. I think it'd be beneficial if certain aspects of automation were allowed. I mean, if they really don't want extensions to help people share, then maybe you need to get rid of the share feature because clearly the people have spoken and no one wants to do it. Other selling platforms don't have it, so why do you? I understand you want to be social, but there's just certain things that take away from the actual business itself. I'm ranting. Sorry, this is just something that I'm kind of passionate about because I strive to have automation in all aspects of what I do. So maybe a marketing background, maybe it's just me being a little techie, but I don't know. That's not on that. Anyway, I pulled up to my first destination. We'll continue this after. Okay, I'm back, and clearly this entire video is just going to be filmed in my car. I'm actually heading home right now, but I want to touch upon a couple other things. First one being, I think I'm going to send some stuff back to the RealReal and then send other stuff to ThredUp. I do have a ThredUp Luxe label, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on that this weekend and kind of get that situated. I'm leaning towards sending more stuff to the RealReal than to ThredUp, only because of ThredUp's lag times they're having, but I also heard from another reseller that their Luxe labels are getting processed quicker than the cleanout bags. So if that's the case, I'll feel a little bit better about it, because I do have a bunch of stuff that I want to send to them. Sorry, it's going to be shaky again, because this road and these neighborhoods are not the best. The next thing that I want to talk about is something that I also feel like has been topic of discussion on the interwebs, and I hate these kind of conversations because it's so, like, it's just not who I am, but I feel like it has to be talked about. I have a really hard time with the whole cancel culture. It's all over YouTube, right? Whether it's in the beauty community, which if you're a beauty community follower like I am, you know there's a lot of stuff going on right now. It has been going on for quite some time, but now it's hit quite a pivotal point within the beauty community. There's a lot of cancel culture stuff going on there. But I feel like it's creeping into the reselling community, and I just have a really hard time dealing with that because it's just not how I think, right? It's not how I function. I don't know if it's because, I'm going to get a little personal, I don't know if it's because I was bullied my entire life growing up, you know, and I was fat shamed and, you know, all of these different things, called awful names, ate alone at lunch, ate in the bathroom, got food thrown at me, like, you name it, it happened to me. You know, I was
thrown off the school bus one day. I broke my ankle, like all these different things, right? I used to hide in my bedroom and like shut all the blinds and all the windows, and like people would drive by my house and taunt, and I've gone through quite a bit, right? So my perspective on cancel culture might be a little different than someone else, right? Like everyone wants the tea, everyone wants drama, everyone wants the inside scoop on what's happening in so-and-so's life. I get that because that's just the world that we live in. It's just part of social media. I understand it. I have a hard time when I see all this stuff that comes out on social media and then to see it on Instagram in the reselling world. Do I think some of it is needed to expose certain elements or aspects of people's businesses? Yes, because you're forewarning individuals who may be doing business with this person. So I do think it can serve a purpose and can be helpful. It's tough. If you're doing it for the good of the people and you're exposing to stop a negative behavior that is severely impacting a group or an individual, then I'm all for it, because it's basically like sticking up for someone who is being bullied, right? It's the same concept. But when groups of people gang up on an individual just because they don't like them, or they don't like the way they present themselves, or they think that their systems are flawed, or I don't know, they think that they're money hungry and they're only doing it for the money and the fame or whatever else. I kind of have a problem with that. In some aspects, I feel like those types of opinions are okay to have, and it's okay to voice them to an extent. But when you start throwing people in the mud or hinting towards certain people but never really saying their name, people can kind of put those pieces together. So it's like this weird fine line where I get it. I don't feed into it. I read it, though. I'd be lying if I said I didn't read it and I didn't follow up on it, because I definitely do. It's a weird social media culture that we live in, and I try to disconnect as much as possible. But when a lot of your business or your attempts to grow your business are focused around social media, online content, it's hard to not get pulled into it. I mean, look at this. I have segments in this video having to do with all the things that are happening in the reselling world. Like, I'm part of the problem right now, but I felt the need to just voice my opinion on everything, and that's the end of that. We're not going to talk about this anymore. What we are going to do next, once I get inside and pull in and all that fun stuff and start making dinner, is we are going to do a reseller Q&A. Some of you guys sent me some questions, and they were really great, and I just want to give you my perspective on these topics. So let's go do that.
Okay, so I know that was a lot of information. I went back and I watched it and I was like, wow, you got really passionate, Daniela, about these topics. But it is something that I'm passionate about. And I think a lot of it comes from my background of working in different industries and just being comfortable with automation and not quite understanding why certain companies are against it. They allow other aspects of automation to be within their business model, but then don't allow for whatever other types of automation. Do I think sharing will ever go away on Poshmark? No, I don't. I think it's something that is just built into their brand. Maybe someday they will change the sharing requirements. I do believe that sharing is a big component of their algorithms, and that's why they have that restriction on the usage of bots. I think that the activity that is shown on their side, on their data, is used for other purposes, and that's why sharing is such a heavy focus. Yeah, so, whatever happens, happens. Poshmark is my first love, and I'm still going to use it. That's not going to change anything. Do I share as frequently as I used to when I had less listings, like when I first started? No. Do I think sharing is essential to make sales? Poshmark, apparently it is, but I really just focus on listings. So, take that for whatever you want. I think relisting and listing is really what gets the most attention to your closet. I've kind of been doing little experiments here and there to kind of test that out, and I've noticed that if I sit down and relist, now with the copy feature on Poshmark, if I'm relisting like 30 to 40 items, and then I kind of let the app sit for a little bit and I don't check it for like an hour or two, I have a ton of notifications. There are times I can share my closet 3 times in a row and I maybe have 40 notifications. So, I don't know. Cancel culture. I don't really want to go into too much detail about that. I said what I had to say. I have my own experiences, and let's just leave it at that. So I hope I didn't offend anyone, but these are my opinions, and this is my channel, so that's just how it's gonna go. I'm gonna share, right? Let's get to the reseller Q&A. This is something that I wanted to do, and I've done it before on the podcast with Lori. So I have a podcast. It's Thrifters Villa with Lori Tata, who is Lori's Boston Found here on YouTube and Instagram and all over the place. So we talk about reseller life. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about life. We talk about everything. And we've done reseller Q&As before, but I wanted to do one for YouTube, and I wanted to do one that kind of just focused on me, right? So you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So I'm going to keep this really brief. I'm only going to do 5 questions, and then I'll do a reseller Q&A maybe in like a month or so. Okay, so the first question, now I have my iPad up so I can read the questions. And the first question that I have here is, why did you get into reselling? My iPad is acting up and I don't know why. Why did you get into reselling, and how long have you been doing it for? So I have been reselling since I was 16 years old. However, I didn't know that that's what it was. I would just sell items to make extra money, to pay for books, to pay for bills, to buy something new that I wanted. I wasn't using that Coach bag anymore, and I wanted to buy a new one because Coach was cool when I was young, and that's what I did. So I've always been reselling. I've always flipped things to make money. I just never knew that that's what it was called, right? So go back last year, about a year and a half ago now, I decided that I was going to start flipping for extra cash and not work a part-time job anymore. Sorry, there's a fuzz ball. Anyway, I wasn't going to work a part-time job anymore. So if you have known me my whole life, then you know that I have always worked 2 to 3 jobs since I was 16 years old. That's just who I am. It's in my nature. And it's harder to do the older you get. And not that I'm old, I'm only 33. But it's tough. It's a lot harder to do. And I also just wanted to be home a little bit more. So I like to shop, because I just do. And the idea of buying things low and flipping them high was very intriguing to me, and it seemed like something that I could absolutely do. So I got into reselling. Now, the main reason why I wanted the extra income is because we're trying to buy a house and we're trying to pay off some debt. I paid off my undergraduate loan. Like, I want to pay off my master's loan, which is going to take me a while, but like, those are my goals. That's what I want to do. So I need to work really hard to get there. In order to do that, I just need to resell my little butt off and diversify my income. So reselling isn't the only thing. I do have the podcast, and we do have monetization with that. So that's a stream of income. I have other projects in the works that might not launch until next year, but there's different things that I'd like to do that will help bring in additional income. I'd love to build up this YouTube channel and maybe someday be monetized, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. That's fine. So I don't know where this will take me. I don't know where reselling will take me, but that's why I got into it. Okay, the next question is, what is something that you wish you knew when you first started that you know now? And this is tough. I don't know if I would have wanted to know anything a year and a half ago that I know now. I feel like everything that I've learned along the way has helped shape who I am now, and has made me a better reseller. I think the only thing that really sticks out to me is that I wish I hadn't compared myself to resellers who have been reselling for years, whether it be 5 years, 6 years, whatever, even 3 years. Um, that comparison game is so bad, and a lot of it's because of social media and just seeing that content all the time. So actually, as of recently, I'm limiting my time on Instagram. I'm limiting my time on YouTube. I'm just focusing on building my reselling business and building my brand as a whole. Um, and that's kind of it. There are so many things that I guess I could have that could have been helpful, right, if I knew before. But all the mistakes and all the experiences that I've had have really helped build who I am today as a reseller. The next question is, what is your favorite food? You're asking an Italian girl what her favorite food is. I like all food. That's just the truth. There are very few things that I don't enjoy. My favorite food. I mean, I obviously love pasta, but that's like such a generic answer. Um, a non-Italian food. Let's do a non-Italian food that I enjoy. I really, and this is so lame, but I really just enjoy eating Marco. I really just enjoy eating lots of vegetables like that. That makes me happy. I like having a bowl of just filled with different vegetables. What are you doing? Avocados and spinach and different types of lettuce and radishes and all the veggies in a bowl with olive oil and some seasoning and maybe throw some chicken on there. Like just a big healthy bowl of vegetables and maybe a little bit of protein makes my soul happy. But the Italian girl in me just wants pasta every day of her life because that's just how I grew up. Okay, the fourth question is, where do you see yourself in the next year in reselling? Do you think you'll ever go full time? I think about this a lot. And the longer that I am involved in the community and the longer that I am producing content and reselling, there's always a side of you because I work 8 to 4. I don't work a 9 to 5. I work an 8 to 4. There's always a part of you that's like, man, this whole working from home thing is great. Like, if I could just find a way to build my empire and just be home, like, that's everything. Do I ever think I'd be full-time strictly reselling? No. It would definitely be other things incorporated with that. It would require a lot of time. Like, we're talking like a good 3 to 5 year plan to even get me to the point where I'd want to do that. Right now, I'm just starting. Like, I've only been reselling for a year and a half as a business, and YouTube I've only been doing for a few months. So the podcast I've had since December, which is great, and that's definitely something that we want to continue to grow. But I don't know. I struggle a lot with this. Having the type of job that I have and the benefits that I have and the retirement, like, that's a lot of stuff that I don't have to worry about, that's taken care of for me from my employer. But I don't have freedom, and I don't have the ability to do what truly makes me happy, right? Like, what really makes my soul happy. What makes my soul happy is interacting with people and teaching people and just engaging, right? And having that conversation and just being in a helping type profession. And I am in a helping profession. Like, I don't want to sound ungrateful because a lot of people would love to be in the place that I'm in at the place that I work. But deep down, I've always known that I need to be in some form of business. I always knew that at some point in time in my life, I would own my own business and be more than what I am now. I don't know when that will happen. I don't know how it will happen. All I know is I'm just going to keep pursuing everything that I'm doing getting better at it, and then we'll go from there. And then the last question from one of you guys who I didn't write down names because I put it on my Instagram story and I didn't screenshot it. I just like jotted down the questions. So I'm really sorry. It's like bad on me. What are your favorite spots to go to in the thrift store? So that's the question. So I have three areas that I go to immediately. And if I only hit those spots, like I'm totally fine with that. So the first spot is shoes. I am in the shoe section. From the second I step into that store, I am beelining into the shoes. I like cleaning shoes. I like photographing shoes. I like storing shoes. I like everything about shoes. They are a great return on investment. Shoes all day long. So that's the first place that I go to. Second place that I stop at are the handbag section, which is located right next to the shoes in my thrift store. So that's easy. I just look at shoes and look at handbags kind of at the same time. I kind of bounce back and forth. And then the third area I like to go to is jeans, because once again, jeans also have a good return on investment, as do handbags. I didn't say that, but handbags, if you're picking up desirable brands made with really good material, leather, whatever. But for jeans, I mean, that was an awkward pause, sorry. But for jeans, I mean, people buy jeans year round. People love wearing jeans. Denim is huge. So, and I can usually pick them up for a really great price. I hope you guys can't hear that. I don't know what my husband's doing, but it's very loud. Yeah, lost my train of thought. But yeah, jeans have a really great return on investment, and I try to pick up desirable brands. I don't pick up all brands, but I also like buying, photographing, and storing them. You'll never catch me going to the dress section first, or tops. Don't go to bathing suits. Sweaters. Once sweater season starts, you will find me go in that sweater section. I will go there after I go to shoes because I love buying sweaters and photographing sweaters and storing sweaters. I just love them. I like wearing sweaters, which is probably why I enjoy the sweater section so much. Yeah, so those are 5 little facts about me that maybe you guys didn't know about. Got a little personal in this video, but that's what YouTube is for, so you guys can kind of get to know me a little bit better. And yeah, I will see you guys next week on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you like this, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. I don't know what else to say. Let me know your thoughts, I guess, on this whole automation and cancel culture. Like, let's start a conversation in the comments down below. Keep it clean. Keep it nice. Like, I'm not here for bashing. I'm not here for any of that. I think it's great to have a dialogue about all these topics, but I don't want it to turn into something negative. This should be a positive time. This should be something that, we should be learning from one another and learning about experiences and all that stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.